Hello Libra, Libra Rising, and Libra Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for December 2016. I want you guys to remember these cover the big, sweeping seasonal shifts that go on throughout the month, and they do often last way more than just a day. And if you are looking for more short-term aspects on a weekly or daily sort of effect, definitely want to check out my weekly horoscopes. The first half always includes just astrology, and even if you're only interested in astrology, the first half of those does astrology exclusively, so there is something there for you to check out as well. So, what is going on with December for a lot of you? Well, there's such a big focus on Capricorn in December. This is one of those months, sorry about it, where a lot of planets are kind of concentrated into one sign, and all the activity is happening in one sign. And with Pluto already in Capricorn, it's just all the more interesting to have Mercury going through there, Sun going through there, new moons going through there. So it's all about the Capricorn, and for you, that is all about your fourth house, the area of home, family, property, ancestry, all of that kind of good stuff. And it all starts off in the beginning with Mercury moving into this area where it's going to stay for quite some time. It's going to even retrograde here, but not until the 19th. We'll cross one bridge at a time. And with Mercury going into the fourth house, we are talking about speeding up developments and opening up lines of communication, and especially in the first 3 weeks of the month. In fact, those of you who are looking to maybe even do some finishing touches on a home renovation project, or maybe you're looking for a move, this whole month, especially in the beginning, is excellent for those of you who are looking to make some kind of move, maybe sign the papers on a lease or a deed or a mortgage. Mercury is going to be moving that along for you. And what also happens with Mercury in this area is that we have an opportunity to maybe open up some discussions with family members, whether they're your immediate family, your spouse, your children, or even with your own blood relatives or your adoptive family if you're adopted. And basically the natal family itself for yourself. We've got a lot more opportunities to communicate and rebond there where we need to rebond. And that's going to be with us all this month in many different capacities. On the 7th, we have Venus moving into Aquarius in your 5th house of love and romance and creativity. It's going to be a very romantic month for a lot of Libra people, especially those of you that are looking to actually put yourselves out there and attract people. You're going to be more of a magnet to attract people to kind of make that first move. And I know a lot of you Libra people like it when others make the first move. And this is definitely a time where it's a bit more auspicious to have that sort of plan of action, especially between the 7th and the 19th, when Mars and Venus will be here at the same time. You may notice that you are actually kind of attracting a lot of attention from strangers if you're looking for somebody new and you're single and looking. Whether you're going out with friends, you may be attracting brand new eyes, more looky-loos. If you do online dating, your profile's going to be getting more hits. But Venus is also talking about bringing more of an amorous, sweet, and peaceful nature to romance as well. This can be a great time for those of you that may have been feeling like things have been a bit stressful in love. Maybe people have been losing a bit of patience. Maybe we've been going through some kind of harsh communications or lack thereof, with a lover, with a partner, or we're just butting heads a bit too much. Venus is going to be softening what could have been because of that Mars in that 5th house as well. And so this is definitely going to be a much more relaxed month for love for the Libra people than November was. And again, it'll be with us through the duration of the month on the 7th. On the 13th, we have a full moon in Gemini, in your 9th house of travel, higher education, higher spiritual learning, multicultural exposure and activity, as well as international affairs and government and legal proceedings. This is a great opportunity for those of you that are looking to seal the deal on a contract that you have, or negotiations you've been having, or application processes you've been having with a government body or an academic body. If you're trying to apply for a new school, if you're doing any test taking, or if you are trying to make any kind of submissions to appeal to either raise your status or position or get permission or authorization or even a residency or or visas or anything along those lines. especially from the 13th and around the 13th. Try and get all those conversations happening around that day. And the week following is also very strong, between the 13th and the 20th of the month, because what happens, what we get started then and there is going to also work towards a faster conclusion. If you've been feeling like they've been taking too long, this is ideal. This is also a great time for those of you that are, possibly thinking about making a transition in your current education, or maybe even your own spiritual practice. Some of you may decide you want to enroll in a different school. You may want to branch out into a spiritual group where the teachings are a bit more serious, a bit more substantial, going further beneath the surface. It's going to be asking for more depth from you, and a lot of this moon is going to have you asking for more depth from your spiritual teachers, mentors, and peers. We also have on the 19th, going a week away from that, Mars moving into Pisces, away from that 5th house of love and romance, which is really good because, again, Mars can create a butting of heads. It's an opportunity to bond, but it can bring stress. And Mars is going into an area of your chart which is a little bit more, let's say, easy on it. It's not exactly happy in Pisces, but when it's in your 6th house of health and reputation and your work schedule, it is giving you more places to channel that restless energy. And when Mars is in the 6th, it usually does bring on the same benefit it brings to many work houses or financial houses, and that is the opportunity for some sweet overtime. Okay, because with Mars in the 6th, you can definitely expect opportunities to go in early, come home late, again, work more than your usual schedule. If you've been trying to pick up more hours, if you've been feeling like you're not getting as many clients or as many sales, this is the time where we're drumming up that extra income, because Mars rewards any kind of action with labor, and it rewards labor with money in a big way. So I would ultimately say this is going to be the very profitable time, especially from the 19th of this month well into January, for a lot of Libras to play some financial catch-up or even get ahead at the end and beginning of the calendar year. On the 19th as well, though, we also have Mercury retrograding and turning retrograde from about the 19th of this month up until about the 12th or 13th of January. But it is in the house of home and family. And like I said before, if you are trying to make a move, sign a lease, get any kind of big, household shifts underway, please try and do so before the 19th of this month, or maybe just don't commence until after the 12th of January, if you can help it. Now, the nice thing is this only affects this part of your chart. Remember, Mercury retrograde doesn't just crash an entire, your whole zodiac. It just hits where it hits. Now, the nice thing about this, though, is with Mercury retrograde in the 4th, we are talking about reclamation, okay, when it comes to handling, old business, entitlements, or maybe even things that are owed to you by family members, or even settling old agreements or old disagreements with landlords, property managers, and things along those lines. This could be talking about refunds and reimbursements coming your way. This could also be a time where if you need to make those requests, or make a request of somebody who has been handling your household affairs to maybe have a redo or a retry, that's going to be a big theme. But also with Mercury retrograde in the 4th house, it's also a time of great nostalgia. And a lot of you are going to be spending a great deal of time reconnecting with relatives we have not communicated with in a long while. There could be some really sweet reunions in store for you. On the 21st, we have the Sun moving into this 4th house of home and family, and we're talking about making sure that we're getting the most and more out of the time spent in the home. This is a time to be really thinking about how do we turn our home into our sanctuary, into our castle, into our temple. Because when I think about concepts like feng shui, it's basically like, how do we turn the energy of the space we spend most of our time eating and sleeping and all of that kind of stuff, how do we turn that into a sanctuary that also raises this, the vibrations around us, turning our home into its own, lucky charm, so to speak. And a lot of the energies with the Sun going through the home area can be great for those of you who are looking to raise the value of your property, or to, again, increase the energy for your own health, your own well-being, by taking measures to make sure that the house can actually sustain, again, much more positive energy with or without you. The other thing about the Sun going through here is that this is also about healing relationships that you have, again, with relatives, especially ones where you are dealing with maybe parents, or maybe even children, or even connecting with grandchildren. Where have things become estranged with people during this time? Obviously this time of year we're going to be dealing a lot with family anyway with the holidays, but with the Sun it puts special emphasis on you all the way up until the third week of January. On the 29th, there's a new moon falling in this part of your chart. And this is talking about even news of a new beginning on the home front. Yes, we are in the beginning of a Mercury retrograde, but those of you who are looking to perhaps even start a brand new relationship on a better footing, on a better path with a family member, or those of you that are looking to maybe even try and increase household income, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your partner, this new moon is going to be quite advantageous for you, because it's going to actually talk about how are we able to drum up more security for the home. How do we bring more of that energy back into our space to be happier and to be healthier and all of that. You know, it's talking about planting roots the right way and also making sure that those roots are strong and healthy. Because there's always a big deal, I think, when it comes to, especially in the spiritual community, where sometimes we get so used to flying by the seat of our pants and just trusting and surrendering, we don't take the responsibility that's the other half to apply that power to planting strong roots that stand the test of time. Now you've got to. Finally, we've got Uranus turning direct in Aries, in your 7th house of partnerships and your closest committed one-on-one relationships. Yes, this does talk about love affairs, and talks about the boyfriend-girlfriend, talks about your spouse, but it also talks about your best friend, you know, the BFF, it also talks a bit about your business partner. And with Uranus retrograde here over the last few months, it's been kind of neutral. You know, usually when outer planets are retrograde, it's neutral. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just that. And depending on how you look at it, you know, it was either treating you well or not treating you well. Because Uranus is the planet of revelation, it's the planet of upheaval, but it's also the planet of epiphany, it's the planet of spontaneity and synchronicity and prompts and interventions from the universe. And when it's retrograde, we kind of see those interactions with the universe diminish to about 10%. And so very few and far between. And if you have been wishing that there would be more of those cues and those prompts, a little bit more spontaneity, a little bit more liveliness in this area of your life, well, good news is Uranus is going direct here and we're having that being restored. However, this also does indicate that, you know, where the trade-off for this is that might not necessarily always guarantee peace. So we're talking about integrating a little bit more. Where can we have our excitement and our fun, but not become adrenaline junkies when it comes to our closest relationships? And the nice thing is, it will be fun. It will be quite enjoyable. And for those of you who are single, chance opportunities for romance are much higher during this time as well. So that is your forecast, Libra. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.